Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the stream. I hope you're all having a lovely day. Today, we're here for a sponsored stream, so I have to be on my best behavior. Nah, I'm kidding. We've already committed arson. There's already been way too many jokes made in chat. They already know what we're about around. And honestly, they really do know what we're about when it comes to this one. This is a brand new game with a brand new demo. The game itself isn't actually out quite yet. There's only a demo that just released for Steam Next Fez. It's called Dissolution of Myself. It has toxic BL. It has mental health issues. It has codependency. And it has interesting relationships between a prince kind of in exile as well as his uncle. So for one thing, as you can see, the artwork is beautiful. Love the way that's just cutting out the man's face right as I say that. Hector, come back. You're so gorgeous. Get over here. There we go. So yeah, beautiful artwork, toxic BL. Keep in mind, there are some adult themes in this. So if you want to like warn yourself of any of the content warnings, please do go to the store page. Because if you check the link in the description, there is a link to the store page where you can go check out this game, Dissolution of Myself. If you're interested in it all, please do wishlist it. It's got to have Chinese, English, and Japanese text translation, as well as a voiced version, like a dub of the Japanese version, with some veteran voice actors. If you look up the names of the voice actors, I think you'll realize that they've been in a couple pretty fancy and interesting things, so it should be nice to hear this. I'm going into this story almost completely blind. What I do know is that it involves a prince who's been... his country has been taken away from him. I don't know if that means like the country is gone or if he's in exile, if he's been sent away for his own safety. But he is living with his uncle in a small little rented room. And him and his uncle have a very complicated relationship. They describe it as his uncle being his aide-de-camp, caregiver, mother, servant, and wife all wrapped into one. And also the main guy, Hector, has like some serious issues where he is trying to erase his own memories on purpose. And, you know, the whole, like, he's apparently like very sadistic and cruel, but we're going to figure out like why his past, why his history has turned him into this, and why he would like want to actually erase his own memories. That's an interesting premise. Yeah, no, it sounds really fascinating to me. The whole idea of actually wanting to destroy all your memories. I don't know if that means that he's going to be trying to destroy them specifically because he wants to, like, romance his uncle. Maybe he's like, if I forget that he's my uncle, he can just be wife. Uncle wife? Exactly. Uncle like parent, brother, or uncle as in family friend? We'll find out. Don't honestly know. But yeah. It sounds like it'll be a fun premise. If you're uncomfortable with those kinds of premises, feel free to hear it out super early. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one and to see where it goes. Listen to this while reviewing for my exam caregiver work ethics. Oh my god. So this is super relevant to you right now. But yeah, a game, from like the description of it, it sounds like it's going to be an interesting premise. Very interesting relationship between the two main characters. Voice acted by veteran Seiyu, so I'm excited to get into it and just see how it goes. Let's go. No need to be say-so in this kind of stream? Yeah. First memory lair, foreign land. I've decided to forget everything. Why? I think you'll find out soon enough. Yes, I'm not joking. I'm going to try to forget everything that matters, including my name. Hector Pavlov. That's the name I go by now. And I like that immediately. They throw in the Pavlov, maybe as in like Pavlovian conditioning. Teaching someone to be well behaved by like rewarding them when they do good things and, you know, punishing them when they do bad things. Don't know if that is more about his sadistic tendencies or... Pavlov is a choice? Yeah, for sure. My homeland. Kresovia, a medium-sized monarchy. I haven't been back in a very long time. After all, it no longer exists. Okay, so they are gone now. Who I am. I used to be a crown prince. After the kingdom collapsed, I became, well, it's a little embarrassing to say, an unemployed drifter. We fled to a foreign country, and my aide-de-camp, also my uncle, Matvey, now keeps the two of us afloat with his impressive skills as an electrician. We love a man who can do practical work, too. Go by now, so this might not be his real name. True. That's the name I go by now, yeah. Maybe we'll find out his true name as it goes on. My residence. I now live in a rented room in the Confederation. We fled to the Confederation mostly because it was far away. My father, His Majesty Komnenek, the former king of Crasovia. He had 3 cavities because he had a sweet tooth. Aw, cute. My target, a country where people could care for one another. I was too young then and wished for something far beyond me. Wait, that actually makes him sound less sadistic. A country where people could care for one another. I was too young there and wished for something far beyond me. It sounds like he was trying to make changes for the better. I don't know if that's more along the line of like, wow, unless it means like, where a nephew could care for an uncle. But yeah, no, if it just means like, yeah, no, I wanted things to be less military, more like caring between one another. Maybe he was trying to do good for the country and things just went terrible. Was it ever stated he was sadistic or is Sensei projecting? Maybe both. No, it's in the description. That's such happy music considering what we're about to do. Room. Just as I was about to give up thinking altogether and throw my memories away, they came barging into my head, each scrambling to be first, making a dreadful racket. Where the hell had they been until now? To be honest, my impression of these past few years is hardly vivid. The things that managed to stay with me were either boring or just a little embarrassing. Still, I'm an easygoing person. I let them dance across the gyri and sulky of my brain. I've never heard of gyri or sulky. Damn. So those are probably medical terms that I do not know. I also like how the text is like slightly breaking. Ugh. Yeah, this is a dude who is going through some mental health issues. So I can click on any of these items, and from what I read in the description, we're basically going to learn some of Hector's memories, and as we learn them, he's trying to forget them. He's trying to, like, push them out of his mind. Sensei, you saw the color change? You clicked them, and then it went back. Yeah, they went red. So yeah, let's start with... I like a little cup of tea. Hector doesn't want to remember. Too bad, Hector. I want to drink your soup. Oh, there we go. Oh, we are starting off strong. What the? I want to drink your saliva. Can you fill half of this glass before tonight? Jesus. What? Huh? Was I not clear? Yeah, okay. I say sadistic prince. Ew. Also, like, damn, he's into the real kinky shit immediately. Kind of into it. What on earth has been wrong with you lately? You're a grown man. Why do you think about this nonsense every day? He's bored and has no outlets, so he's just doing whatever he feels like. He put on the face of an elder and scolded me. He didn't do this very often. Water of life is crazy. Yo, the voice acting's so good as well. He sounds so seductive while saying such... Oh, interesting things. The water of life, Uncle Matvey. I do not want to drink anything except your saliva. What did you eat for lunch today? Let me taste it. Oh, God. Well, at least that's what he means when he says the water of life. I've heard of worse things described as the water of life or holy water. The more I spoke, the more excited I became. You see, there's not much I want anymore. Damn. There's nothing I can want anymore. Even if you refuse me. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, he's a sadistic one. Also, the eyes. He's got very intense eyes right there. I knew I had succeeded. He wore an expression that said, "This is too much, but if I can endure it, I must be very admirable." That's not the way to think about that, my dude, Matt. He's got you wrapped around his finger. That's the first one. I was like, a nice cup of tea. This will be nice and gentle. God, no. He got those crazy eyes. Yeah, no, he got the yandere eyes. Guilt tripping him for his saliva. But also, like, the way that the uncle's thinking about it as well, of like, oh no, this is too much. But I'd be a very good person if I just submit to it. A born and true masochist. Now I see why these two are described as codependent. It's like, the worse I do for him, the better I am. Okay, let's go with the broom. This one seems like it'd be more aggressive. Broom. A family of 3 lived upstairs from me. The child was still in school. The mother was a housewife. And as for the father, all I knew was that he was not home during the day. During summer vacation, because the child was too loud, I prepared 10 eggs, and on different days scattered them one by one in front of their door. Do not underestimate this. It was one of the most exciting things I'd done. I carried a broom with me so that if anyone saw me, I could explain that I was kindly sweeping up trash. Unfortunately, no one ever saw me, and no one had the chance to appreciate the performance I'd rehearsed many times. Only the child's voice grew louder and softer because of those eggs from time to time. Wait, what? He's so bored out of his mind. He's just torturing other neighbors. He's like, I'm just gonna scatter eggs in front of the door. No one's... He's just making the child see the eggs explode outside of his door, and he's like, no one will ever believe you. Traumatizing a child. Cabinet toolbox. Find memory trigger. Okay. We'd exchanged quite a few Confederation dollars, but at a time like this, Confederation citizens trusted tenants less than ever. They demanded 6 months' rent as a deposit up front, and our life grew increasingly strained. Jesus, 6 months up front is wild. That's robbery. Matvey had studied engineering at Krsovia National University, but the name printed on the diploma could not be used. He also unfortunately lacked connections in the Confederation's education sector, and so he sank into work as a helper on an electrician crew run by a Krsovien who had immigrated to the Confederation 10 years earlier, roaming the local market with the price advantage created by not paying insurance. When he reported this to me, he was somewhat embarrassed and assured me he would obtain a proper license and escape the state of working off the books. I did not quite understand what he cared about. I was a person who could not even say my own name aloud. Damn. So Matvey has some, like, displeasure in the way that he's been dispossessed. He wants to actually be able to do a proper job and get paid a fair wage, but yeah, they're just using him for the fact that he's cheap labor. Oh, God. It's the perfect example of having a lot of time available. Yeah, no, it's no wonder that he's kind of losing his mind at this point. Newspaper. The New Continent Rovinik Gazette. Bishop Radek says communication with the Rovinik-Renfield Union Diocese is going well. San Solano Town Church hosts an accordion recital and encourages new immigrants to register as church members. Rovinik Language Sunday School begins enrollment for the new term. Children aged 5 to 12 welcome. Seabreeze Oyster Farm now hiring. Good pay, room and board included. No Confederation language required. San Solano Community College cares about your future. Okay, so why don't you get a job, Hector? Maybe he's too well known as the prince. Maybe they have to, like, hide his face as well, let alone his name. Come here, I'll give you an iPad. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a computer. They have a TV, though. You ever just, you know, watch some TV to pass the time? He rented an apartment in an ordinary residential building in the Confederation. Not somewhere too nice which would draw suspicion, Not somewhere too bad because he worried about me. Aww. For me, with my mobility issues, the apartment's greatest disadvantage was that it was on the 3rd floor. There were stairs, but no elevator. I asked him whether he'd done it on purpose. He said nothing and turned on one of the only 2 appliances we currently had, the television. The other was the refrigerator. Oh, shit. So talking about toxic codependency, he specifically got a room on the 3rd floor where you'd have to, like, take serious trouble going down or up the stairs, knowing that he probably won't be able to leave properly and get back. So Uncle Matvey is kind of, like, keeping him prisoner as well. Not sure if that's because, like, he doesn't trust him or if it's just more like, no, you belong to me. Just stay in the apartment. This is where you belong, with me. But, yeah, oh, the fact that he couldn't even answer the question. Add the mobility issues on top of that. Yeah, that feels deliberate. It definitely feels deliberate. He's at least able to manage to get up 1 flight of stairs to torture the child, though. I guess that's a good way to slowly build up your strength and your mobility. Torturing a child. I could not help wondering whether, if the age before television, people had a harder time changing the subject. The Confederates on television were speaking the Confederation language, while waves of pre-recorded laughter sounded in the background. The show was just a bunch of people sitting around talking. After watching it for a while, I grew irritated. What is this show?
Home comedy です。
Home comedy.
隣人のジョーンズ夫人が新しい庭師を雇ったのではないか。芝の刈り方があまりにひどい。そしてジョーンズ夫人の娘が前の庭師に恋をしたのではないか。
It's a proper telenovela.
と話し合っています。
A family sitcom. They're discussing whether their neighbor, Mrs. Jones, has hired a new gardener because the lawn is being trimmed so badly. And they also suspect Mrs. Jones' daughter may have fallen in love with the previous gardener. Yo, the drama. Hugh, speak the Confederation language well.
大学で学びました。
I studied it at university.
暇な時に俺にも教えろよ。
You should teach me when you have time. I looked at him expectantly, then turned my eyes to the letters and newspapers scattered across the floor. The people from the furniture company were late, so we had no table.
新聞やニュースを読めるようになりたい。今の俺に読めるのはスーパーの広告だけだ。豚肉がとても安そうに見える。
I want to learn to read newspapers and the news. Right now, I can only understand supermarket flyers. The pork looks really cheap. That would be. Oh, this poor guy. He really is trapped inside this apartment. He doesn't know the language. He literally can't get up or down the stairs properly. So he can't go out and explore. He really is. As much as he is apparently supposed to be the sadistic one kind of abusing his uncle. And we've seen a touch of that so far already with the whole, like, I want to drink your spit. But yeah, his uncle is also keeping him trapped and isolated from the rest of the world.
連邦語は難しいです。でも、ゆっくり学べば。
The Confederation language is difficult. But if you take your time learning it...
他のクレソビア人と知り合うべきかもしれない。彼らなら地域の講座を知っているかも。
Perhaps we should get to know some other Kresovians. They might know of some community classes.
ここのクレソビア人とは接触しないでください。
Here we go.
彼らの多くは売国奴で、あなたを金に変えたいだけです。彼らはクレソビアと苦難を共にしようともせず、ここへ逃げてきたのです。
Well, he's either a very good actor or he really believes this. Do not come into contact with the Kresovians here. Many of them are traders who only want to sell you for money. They fled here precisely because they were not willing to stand by Kresovia and its hardships. As if Kresovia's miserable economy and chaotic situation were all the fault of those expatriates. But I was used to him talking like that.
お前は俺たちが彼らより偉いと思っているみたいだな。
You seem to think we're better than they are.
僕たちは強いられたのです。彼らは自ら選びました。そこが違います。
We were forced. They chose it. That is different.
そうか。 結果は同じだ。
Is that so? The result's the same. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, Uncle also has a very bad view of the other people that fled the country rather than just die. Even though they were trying to find a better life for themselves, they were trying to survive. Attic wife confirmed. Yeah, he's also trying... That's the thing. He's trying to keep them away from the other Chrysovians that he could actually understand the language of as well. So yeah, the prince has been completely isolated. I also wonder how much of this from the uncle is true, since the uncle gets to decide everything that Hector knows about this area that they're living in now. Oof. Clock. The clock. Sometimes I would treat staring at the clock as an item on my schedule. It could not be helped. I had to find something for myself to do. Matvey once managed my schedule strictly. He was my aide-de-camp, which you could also understand as a kind of senior personal assistant. After graduating from the Royal Military Academy, he served in the kingdom's army, and only in recent years was he promoted to the prestigious role of my aide-de-camp. One of the main duties of that position was arranging my itinerary, but now it existed in name only. After we fled, the only job he managed to obtain for me was receiving the apartment manager. Oof. So yeah, it's just been him occasionally talking to the apartment manager. I wonder how long he's been locked in this damn tiny home. For him, I would also go crazy. I think anyone would after like a few months of this. You could maybe survive like a couple of weeks, but geez, nobody but your uncle. The uncle is Yandere. They're kind of a little bit both toxic codependency Yandere double. Let's go with the safe. Ooh, passport. Long press and scroll up. Oh, Hector, why is this one so painful for you? On XXXX19XX, my homeland ceased to exist. There was no mournful music, no anguished cries. It simply vanished the moment Matvey handed me a brand new Rovanic-Renfield Union passport. They were lazy with the naming. Rovanics and Rainfielders lived there, so the new country was called the Rovanic-Rainfield Union. I looked down and opened the passport to its information page. A face that both was and was not mine stared back at me.
Hector Pavlov. 誰だ?
Hector Pavlov. Who?
それがこれからのあなたのお名前です。外ではそうお呼びします。
That is your name. From now on, when we're outside, I will call you that.
お前は?
And you?
マティア。
Mattia. Okay, so I still call him Matvey, but his name to everyone else is Mattia.
自分につけた名前は俺につけた名前よりずっと覚えやすいな。
The name you picked for yourself is much easier to remember than the one you gave me. He blinked, looking somewhat embarrassed. Oh, I skipped that line.
外国の名前にすると思っていた。
It wasn't intentional. I thought you would choose foreign names.
僕たちの訛りと顔立ちではその方がかえって怪しまれます。
With our accents and faces, that would only make people more suspicious.
なら連邦国はいい選択じゃなかったと思う。
Then I do not think the Confederation was a good choice.
近隣諸国にとってあなたのお立場はデリケートすぎます。
Your identity is too sensitive for the other nearby countries.
連邦国はそう思わないのか?
The Confederation doesn't think so?
彼らはここなら十分離れていると思っています。説明します、ヘクトル。あなたは現地の大学の学生
I
で
wonder
す。
if we're never going to find out Hector's original name.
入学1週間後に病気で欠席し、1ヶ月後には中退します。学校はあなたのビザを取り消しますが、その後はまた方法を考えます。
They believe they're far enough away. Let me explain, Hector. You're a student in a local university. However, 1 week after enrollment, you'll be absent due to illness, and 1 month after, you'll drop out. The school will cancel your visa, but we will find another way.
お前は?
And you?
あまり関係のない話です。
That has little to do with you.
ずっと学校に通うことはできないのか?
Can I just keep going to school?
できません。危険すぎます。
Damn.
あなたはコメネニッチ陛下にあまりにも似ていて。
Majesty Komenichi. Komnenichi. No, it's too dangerous. You look too much like His Majesty Komnenichi.
僕は命令に従っているだけです。
My dear aide-de-camp sure has a lot of power. I'm carrying out orders, Hector. After saying that, he shut his mouth and turned to help me pack. The first thing he did was throw out the cigarettes I'd put in the suitcase. While his back was turned, I quickly picked them up and stuffed them back in. Bad boy. Too young to be smoking. At the same time, yeah, again. He enrolled him in university, but then made him drop out within a week, so he can't learn anything. He can't make any friends. He is just locked in this apartment. And undocumented. Yeah, exactly. At least he has access to his passport, but yeah, he really is completely reliant on Matvey. The VAs are familiar to me, especially Matvey's VA. Look them up. They are definitely, like, both are well known. How old is he? I think probably, if he's university age, probably around 19, 20, I'd imagine. Wait, there's more things in the safe. Safe/passport. Oh, the entry sticker too. We boarded the plane. Matvey lifted my luggage in the aisle and shoved it into the overhead compartment. The last time I'd been on a plane was when I was graduated from high school, so I did feel a little nostalgic. He sat down beside me, fastened my seatbelt for me, then fastened his own. To be honest, it was a bit early for that. Helplessly, I opened the onboard duty-free catalog and let my eyes wander among the bags and watches. He seemed restless, looking this way and that in his seat. I wanted to distract him, so I spoke. Will Dad come too?
陛下はあなたの健康を願っているとおっしゃいました。
His Majesty said he hopes you stay healthy. His tone was stiff. Will he make it?
あなたに前向きに生きてほしいとおっしゃいました。
He said he hopes you make the most of your life.
お母さんは
And Mom?
あなたのお父上と同じお考えです。
She shares your father's view.
お前、俺に答えなくなったな。
You're avoiding my questions.
僕を困らせないでください。
Please do not make this difficult for me.
もういい。
Forget it. Damn. So he's aware that, like, both his parents are dead. To be fair, I don't even know if we can trust Matvey. For all we know, he's been lying about a lot of this and he just wanted to steal Hector away. But yeah, he didn't even get to say goodbye to his parents. It was just like, they both hope you'll have a good life. They're dead. They're gone. They are being, yeah, murdered or tried for crimes or God knows what. I pursed my lips and awkwardly rummaged through my pockets, then began examining that passport of mine. Did not look much different from my own passport. Yet with my own passport, I could not enter the famous Confederation, while with this one I could pass through without obstruction. My poor Chrysovian passport. Also, it's an interesting area they're living in. So they're living in like a area that is just a combination of different groups who have escaped from war together. I forget what they named them. One of them was Rhinefield, but then there was another one as well. So it's an area where two previous countries have come together to live in one area that's actually safe. I was thinking that too would be wild if his parents are actually alive and Hector technically was kidnapped during the chaos. Yeah, if he just like stole him away and was like, this is my chance. Rohidrik or something, yeah. There's an interesting like backstory going on this as well as like what's going on between the uncle and nephew. I do not like furniture with too much empty space underneath, because that sort of furniture makes it easy to hide a person. So I deliberately chose a sofa no one could hide under. Unless they peeled off the upholstery and crawled inside it themselves, this ought to be a very safe sofa. Oh, that's some trauma right there. Dude has definitely had people pop out from under furniture before. Come to think of it, I seem to have sat on an unsafe sofa before. There we go! What was on the unsafe sofa? I have questions. Who fricked around with you by popping out from underneath us? Did they try to assassinate him? I used to have a bad habit of crossing my legs, but I can't do it anymore. Yes, once again because of that assassination attempt. Oh, shit. So it was the assassination attempt. Somebody had been hidden under the furniture. That's probably how they got, like, his thigh or something and why he can't walk properly. That day, while I was visiting my alma mater, a man wearing a wristband fired at me from a distance. Matvey immediately threw himself over me to protect me, but the bullet still struck my thigh. That man fled into the mountains beside the school. By the time the police finally tracked him down, he'd already shot himself. He was an ordinary-looking Rhinefelder who worked at a hospital pharmacy, but the church he attended had once been criticized by local media for its extreme nationalist stance. And ever since, my thighs refused to let me cross my legs. So today, too, I'm sitting on a sofa like this, almost as if I were laying down. Oof. I know that feel. Sitting was not easy for me for a long time either. Ugh. Sensei's way too good at the predictions. I was completely wrong. It was just an assassin with a gun. So there might have been a different assassination attempt, or he was hiding underneath the sofa and popped out of it. But either way, yeah. I thought they tried to stab him or something from beneath, but no. They came at him with a gun. Oh, God. He's just the kid. Box/coins. I discovered that the Confederation's coins were made somewhat different. They were thicker than Chrysovian coins, and the grooves around the edges were neater. My understanding of the thing called money was extremely vague. Most of the time, I only needed to sign my name and the things I wanted became mine. To this day, I still do not know from which account Matvey's salary as my aide-de-camp was paid. He was probably responsible for paying himself. Sometimes I would joke that he should invent some add-on services. For example, if he let me kiss him once, he could pay himself an extra $100. He raised an eyebrow at me and said nothing. Jesus, dude. Perhaps he thought that price insulted him, but that amount could buy a lot of pork. He's like, no, I should probably, you know, that's what he was worried about. He was worried about the fact that the money was too low, not about his nephew saying that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, should have offered him more money, but that's part of the fun. Could buy a lot of pork. Jesus, yeah, no, these two's relationship is wild. It's also interesting I can't actually interact with the medicine, even though, oh, take pills on time? Does that mean I'm not taking pills on time? Sure. So this would be taking pills on time. Let's not take my pills on time. Let's see what that does. Maybe it'll make me more unstable and unhinged. Okay, find memory trigger. We got an apple, an ice cream, and a speech bubble. Long press and scroll up. Sorry, kiddo. We need to figure it out. To keep me from getting bored, he bought me a few books. The one I leafed through most often was Introduction to the Confederation Language. When I first saw the book, I was a little surprised. What is this?
連邦語入門です。連邦国で暮らすなら、ここの言葉くらい覚えるべきです。
Introduction to the Confederation Language. If you're going to live in the Confederation, you ought to learn the language here. Sensei immediately making him worse. That's by Oshi. No, I agree with Coffeeholic. What if, like, Uncle is trying to keep us destabilized? What if they're pills that, like, Hector doesn't actually need, that he's been told are to help him, but are just... he's relying on, like, the side effects that make you slightly more unstable, that, like, make you a bit more loopy kind of thing. He could be doing that to try and mess with Hector even more, to try and keep him from figuring out some of the things that are going on. I don't trust anyone yet. Who are we playing as? The prince? Yeah, we're inside the prince's head as he tries to erase his memories. Maybe that's it. I don't know why Hector's trying to erase his memories. Maybe it's because of the horrific things he's seen, including assassination attempts and losing his family and home. Or maybe it's like, oh, my uncle actually kidnapped me and is, like, slowly poisoning me. But at least I can be happy if I forget about that and just become a housewife. Like, I don't know how messed up this is. Definitely interested to find out. I thought my dear aide-de-camp would take care of everything for me. And what if something happens to me? Nothing's going to happen to you.
僕の職務の一つはあなたを守ることです。僕たちの情報によれば、一部の過激な民主主義者があなたの首に懸賞金をかけています。
One of my duties is to protect you.
気球の際には、
According to our intelligence, Some extreme nationalists put a bounty on your head, so in a critical moment, I will...
お前に何か起きるわけないだろ。
Nothing's going to happen to you.
この話はやめにしましょう。連邦語を勉強しましょう。こちらに座ってください。
Let's not talk about that. Let's study the Confederation language. Sit over here. Oh, he got really defensive about that. He's like, you're my only lifeline to the world. I sat down beside him and smelled the clean scent of laundry powder on his collar.
こんにちは。挨拶です。僕に続いて。
We'll go with Japanese for the language.
こんにちは。
Cute. Konnichiwa. That's a greeting. Repeat after me. Konnichiwa.
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 舌を巻いて上顎に当ててください。
Curl your tongue and press it against the roof of your mouth.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Yeah, no, that's hard to do. That does not make it easy. But maybe in the language they're actually like inventing it word.
どうして発音がどんどんおかしくなっていくんですか？子供の頃、ラインフェルト語はすぐ覚えたのに。
How is your pronunciation getting worse and worse? You picked up the Rheinfeld language so quickly when you were little. Oh, so he could talk to people from Rheinfeld here at least. I felt a little embarrassed. I had not studied a foreign language in a long time. When I was 5 or 6, Matvey had been my Rheinfeld language tutor. Because I wanted his praise so badly, I learned Rheinfeld as well as my native tongue.
僕の唇を見てください。こんにちは。
I don't know, Uncle. Maybe you can give me like a more practical demonstration with those lips. Watch my lips. Konnichiwa. When he opened his mouth. Yeah, no, I knew this was going to get kinky real quickly. When he opened his mouth, the flesh-red hollow of it gleamed wetly. I could not help slipping the index finger of my right hand into his mouth. Oh, damn! The wet, soft inner walls wrapped closely around every inch of my finger. Then his startled teeth caught my flesh, frightening him so badly he nearly choked. I laughed.
舌触らせろ。
Oh my god, he's worse than even my fantasies. Let's go! And there's a CG. Let me feel your tongue. Konnichiwa. His tongue moved timidly, like a tiny mollusk. I gotta say, his uncle doesn't look that much older than him either. I know it's probably just the art style, but especially in this CG, he looks damn young there. In the CG, you could see he's like, yeah, maybe late 20s, early 30s at the oldest. But at this point, yeah, he looks so young.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Oh, there you go. He learned. He's good at figuring out his uncle's tongue. This is not something I expected in a language lesson. This is exactly what I expected in a language lesson. In this kind of story. I've played these games before. Not literally this game, but... It was a good CG too. I hope we get more of those. He needed to learn hands-on. I was half expecting him to be like, now stick your tongue out. He wanted that, like, you know, water of life directly given to him. Isn't Hector Aiden's VA too? Yes, he is. Not that I recognize him or anything, so yeah. If you play New Carnival, you recognize his voice. Find the memory trigger. You got it. We left Chrysovia in a hurry and did not bring many valuables. If I had anything of value on me, this Mraz leather overcoat counted as one. I once suggested to Matvey that if we were truly short on money, we could sell the overcoat. He smiled a little and told me that Confederation citizens did not know Mraz. Oh, so it's something that means so much to him, but it's also just like, yeah, sorry. That may be a fancy designer item where we come from, but here it's just garbage. Oof. Curtains. There were 966 flowers on the curtains. Oh, yeah, he's been locked up in here for a while. I was quite certain of that number. Out of the 231 times I counted, 90% produced that number. That number was not an integer, which for some reason irritated me. Yeah, this dude's a prisoner. 100%. Window. Find the trigger. Ooh, there's someone outside the window. Dari desu ka? Oh, I'm in the way. Sorry. There she is. Matvey did not forbid me from going outside, but the wound near my knee left by the assassination attempt was obviously determined not to let me go downstairs. I'm a man afraid of pain. At most, I could go down to the 2nd floor or up to the 4th. I thought that was impressive too. After all, I still had to return home, which doubled the distance. Of course, if I crawled, I might be able to go outside. But rather than let people see me like that, it was better not to go out at all. The living room of the rental had one window. It was the only one in the apartment. When I was bored to the point of panic, I would observe the people outside. Bored to the point of panic is a crazy way to put that too. So literally at the point where he was going stir crazy. Oh my god, dude. I don't like him staring out of a 3rd floor window while thinking about that either. A blonde woman left every day at 8. She always dressed very formally, and I guessed she was an office worker. So I began guessing her position. Operator, secretary, accountant, teller. I argued with myself in my head. The cut of her uniform looked like a bank employee's, but her hairstyle looked more like a secretary's. But I was not familiar with Confederation citizens. How dare I apply the rules of somewhere else to people of the Confederation? There's more and more glitches appearing as time goes on. Interesting. Maybe we should have been taking our pills on time. Unfortunately, I still did not know the correct answer by the day that she stopped appearing. Second memory layer. Rift. Uh-oh. Okay, so now we've got more things. Some of the same things, actually. Ooh, alcohol! This should be a fun one. Please buy a cane. There are so many ways they could... for one thing, they could have just not been on the 3rd floor. That would have helped a little bit. Oh, God. Liquor bottle. Once, out of the blue, he brought me a bottle of Goodwin. Apparently because it was on sale at the supermarket. Good wine calls for a good glass, I told him. So he took out that set of glassware printed with traditional Rovanic patterns and looked at me with great anticipation. In the end, I poured the wine into the glass held between his thighs, which he'd carefully pressed together. Oh my god. His thighs were very pale, and I savored the wine as it warmed with his body temperature. I'm sorry. You drank it right from between his thighs? God damn, guys. Yeah, no, Uncle is part of this. Uncle is, you know... Uncle's part of the problem. Long press and scroll up. The thighs were bare. Damn straight. I don't know if he was even wearing underwear, but... Also, the alcohol being warmed by his body. Who knows? Maybe that's just a Kosovian tradition. Maybe that's part of their culture. Blanket. But yeah, so a lot of the time, Uncle is like timid and, you know, is being taken. But sometimes he makes the moves. Didn't know you could drink wine like that. Oh no, there's a lot of that's been done a lot between thighs, between breasts, between other body parts. Hell, body shots. You put it into like somebody's like belly button and take a body shot. Drinking alcohol from somebody else's body is like well known, but yeah, using their body heat to like slowly warm it up. Damn. Blanket. Matvey arranged a day to take me on a picnic in a small park near the apartment. I hadn't been outside in a long time. Walking down the street, I felt like a worm exposed under a tall... I lifted stone, sorry. The text breaking messed with me. desperate to scuttle somewhere the sun couldn't reach. Oh, so he has taken him outside once. The picnic didn't end well. A family was throwing a birthday party for their kid, playing a game where they stomped on balloons. The pumping went off again and again. Oh, is he going to think of the bullet shots? I gripped Matvei's hand and left the park, leaving a puddle of my sweat in his palm. Yeah, so he's got serious PTSD from the assassination attempt too. And we don't even know if that's the only assassination attempt he ever dealt with. Sounds like fun, but no way in hell does a body shot sound appealing. Ew, belly button juice. I mean, generally you'd hope for the other partner to be clean. And, you know, you don't do it with a random person unless, you know, I'd like to think only dumb teenagers do that kind of shit. My germaphobe ass could never. Nah, I feel that. At least with the uncle thing, well, let's not put it that way. At least in the case of this story, it was still in a glass between the uncle's thighs. So it was completely clean, just warmed by his body heat, and face was going directly between his thighs. Oh, God. Find a memory trigger. Ooh, a worm again. That's my obsession with worms. Oh, that's a cigarette butt. I was wrong. Sometimes I throw cigarette butts here. Matvei discovered this while watering the plants and expressed that he hated that behavior very much. After I repeatedly refused to learn my lesson, he punished me by not making meat dishes for an entire week. Ouch. No meat at all for a week is painful. Breathe, sensei? I mean, the more you think about it, the worse it gets. Because there's also, like, as you're slowly going down and up again and again, it's got to provide some level of excitement. And then something else is going to come up. That whole, yeah, no. That whole setup between two men is definitely bound for, like, going into a different direction. Maybe that's like a story we'll find out later on in the memories. Maybe that's a memory he doesn't want to erase completely just yet. But yeah, cabinet/shoes. This apartment is too small. To be honest, if I stare too long at something that never changes, I start to feel as if it doesn't exist. That's actually a good line. That's true. You get so used to the things around you, they become nothing. They become boring. They become irrelevant. So I began observing Matvei's shoes. His shoes carried a faint smell of sweat. Don't get creepy with the shoes, please. I suppose men's shoes all smell a little like that. Except mine. I haven't worn shoes in a very long time. His socks must smell ripe as fuck. I also went and smelled his dirty clothes. Yep, knew that was coming. Besides dust and sweat, one shirt was saturated with the aroma of barbecue. I figured he must have worn it to a barbecue restaurant or to someone's house where they were cooking barbecue. Even so, I sometimes still forget that he's a living, breathing person. You can't blame me. If someone were covered head to toe in usefulness, you'd forget they were a person too. What a fucked up line. What? If someone were covered head to toe in usefulness, you'd forget they're a person. So it's just like, he's just my uncle. He's just a tool, an aide to camp. His ideas are so wild. Yeah, no, he needs socialization. People without socialization slowly begin to lose their minds. The unchecked bad thoughts that, like, the ones that, like, creep into your brain do not go challenged. And this is not great. But yeah, the writing was actually interesting there as well. I thought it was going to get, like, very sexual, but it wasn't. It was actually more of a sad thing where it's just like, yeah, this is the only way I can experience the outside world. Is just the sense that he brings home with him. He went to the park once and got triggered in his PTSD and had to, like, run home. And ever since then, I doubt they've gone out at all. Eesh. So bored, all he has is intrusive thoughts to entertain him? Yeah. And he is not turning off the intrusive thoughts. And his uncle's not challenging his intrusive thoughts. So it's the recipe for disaster. Oh, the toolbox again. Oh, an inspector.
Yo, 兄ちゃん。クレソビア人か？いや、今はロビニク・ラインフェルト連合って呼ぶべきか？
Do I speak this language? Yo, kid! Are you Krasovian? Oh, no, wait. I guess I should call it the Rovenick Rainfield Union now. I opened the door and jumped. No one had spoken to me in a long time besides Matvei. Especially not in my native tongue. Oh, he knows their language. Okay. Yet this man in work clothes and looking to be in his 30s or 40s spoke it. I hesitated.
Hi.
Yes?
ああ、名字を見て当てたんだ。やっぱりね。
Oh, I guessed from your last name. Knew it.
ご用件は
Can I help you? Yo, again, voice actor popping off. He sounds so respectful when he's not talking to his uncle. When he's talking to his uncle, he sounds like everything is about to become a problem. There's like venom dripping from his voice in a seductive way. But yeah, when he's talking to this guy, he could suddenly be like, yes, can I help you? Like talking normally.
シロアリの点検で来ました。担当者が意思疎通の問題を心配してわざわざ俺をよこしたんです。
I'm here for a termite inspection. The supervisor was worried communication might be a problem, so they sent me. His Rovenick was a little stiff, laced with a heavy southern accent.
俺はクレソビア人じゃなくてロビニク語もうまくないんです。連邦国生まれで家と教会でしか喋らなくて悪いね。
Aw. I'm not Kresovian, and my Rovenick isn't very good. I was born in the Confederation. I only speak it at home and at church. Sorry.
大丈夫大丈夫。すごく上手ですよ。
It's fine, it's fine. Your Rovenick is very good.
こんなにクレソビア人が連邦国に来るって分かってたら子供の頃もっと真面目に勉強しておけばよかったな。
Dude, you're saying some complicated words. I'm impressed. If I'd known so many Kresovians would come to the Confederation, I would have studied harder than when I was a kid. Chattering on, he slipped on shoe covers, put on gloves, and got ready to open the utility room door.
ここに工具箱があるのか？これどかしていいですか？
Why is there a toolbox here? Can I move in?
どうぞ。兄のです。電工なんで。
Oh, you call him your brother rather than uncle. This relationship's getting even more confusing. Go ahead. It's my brother's. He's an electrician.
へえ。じゃあ兄ちゃんは何してるんだ？今日は仕事じゃないのか？
Oh, so what do you do? You're not working today?
学生です。最近は家で休んでいて、病気が治ったらまた学校に行きます。
I'm a student. I've been resting at home lately, waiting until I'm better before I go back.
そうか。確かに若いな。専攻は？
I see. Yeah, you really are young. What's your major?
まだ決めてません。何かおすすめはありますか？
I haven't decided yet. What would you recommend?
俺は大学には行ってなくてさ。でも大丈夫だよ。専攻なんて何でもいい。ゆっくりで。
Still figuring yourself out at that age. Me? I never went to college, but it's fine. Any major is fine. Take your time. He looked pleased and laughed openly.
この連邦国じゃ、あんたは誰にだってなれる。
In the Confederation, you can be anyone. Aww, I like this guy. This guy seems nice. Uncle, wife, electrician, brother, uncle, wife, aide-de-camp, caretaker. Brother, uncle, wife, aide-de-camp, caretaker, mommy. Brother, uncle, wife, mommy, that's too many things, man. It's like a 12-in-1, but a human version. Like he said, you stop thinking he's human at some point. He is just an amalgamation of relationships. Watch Uncle suddenly become every single person in the family tree. First uncle, then brother, then father. And eventually he'll be calling Hector daddy. He's smart too. Handles conversation very well, even for how introspective and unsocialized he is. Yeah, I wonder if that was like early on, because he definitely seemed, or maybe it's just, yeah, when there's actually another person around, he becomes a little better able to handle himself. You need outside things. So, I mean, sure, he was like lying through his teeth there to get through the conversation, and probably worried at the same time of like, well, he could also be trying to assassinate me. This could also be a cover. So he was probably terrified the whole time. But yeah, no, he acted through it very well. He just flips the switch. Yeah. The letters changing is already freaking me out. Yeah. Some of the mental issues going on. Matvey is there to satisfy Hector's every need. Oh, hell yeah. Small talk can be a pain, but it's actually scientifically proven to be good for you socially. yeah, socialization in general, humans need that. Much as you can say you're like an introverted person, try going a solid week without speaking to anyone else. It gets rough. It, like, time starts to feel weird. You start to feel like disconnected from yourself, let alone from anyone else as well. Sad though that because that just shows how dependent he is on his uncle to feel like a person. Exactly. He needs his uncle to be everything for him because he's the only person he speaks to. Cabinet/tape recorder. Every morning before he goes out, he puts on a tie, wears a shirt without a single crease, then sets the cassette player in the brightest spot in the house and plays the Kosovian national anthem. His uncle is also very nationalist, which makes sense since he's part of the royal family, but yeah, he really believes everything that they sold with the whole, like, oh, everybody else sucks and abandoned us, like, ugh. The Kosovian national anthem is very plain. Mostly it goes on about love for the homeland, forests, lakes, wheat fields, rivers. Things found anywhere under heaven become treasures simply because a group of Kosovians lived among them. When the situation was not looking good, one of my security guards once said that if the Kosovian national anthem had been as tragic and stirring as those of our neighbors, we never would have fallen this far. In short, Kosovia was not at fault, nor were the Kosovian people. The one at fault must have been this national anthem with its long and venerable history. That does not stop Matvey's eyes from shining whenever he listens to the anthem. I felt faintly displeased, though I could not describe what it was. Then I held 2 fingers up to his eyes, pretending I was going to pinch out that light. Jesus, dude. Then I was like, I could steal that light right from his eyes. Sounds like a normal national anthem. Yeah, there are also a lot of national anthems that are more about, like, the glory and the strength. But, yeah, just talking about the beauty of the land tends to be the going point. Sad, though, because that just shows how, yeah, he's socializing really well to asking the right questions so he can avoid answering. Kind of forget how to speak if you're alone for a long time. Yeah, so that's what I mean. He was doing good actually conversing. I thought he'd be really bad at it by the time he actually talked to people. On the community bulletin board at the supermarket, there's a number for domestic violence helpline. I joked to him that he should write the number down so that one day when he could not bear it anymore, he could have me thrown in prison. The Confederation might, out of respect for Kosovia, assign me a somewhat better lawyer. He looked at me as if he were looking at a madman. To thank him for his loyalty, I spent an hour touching him before bed that night. Jesus Christ! His skin was very smooth, and I enjoyed myself immensely. He was flustered and embarrassed, wanting to hide but not daring to. When I began to lick him, he became even more uncomfortable and gripped the sheets until I could hear the fibers stretching. What was I supposed to do? His body is my only territory. I love that line. They have that line in the description for the Steam game as like Hector's main like speaking line. His body is my only territory. That's such a good line for a prince who's lost his land. But my god, him joking about like, well, if you ever want to stop me, you could just call someone to stop me. And then rewarding his loyalty by going even further, just being like, well, you didn't call them to stop me, so I guess you actually enjoy this. I'm going to treat you even more that way. God damn, dude. What a fucked up relationship, and I love it. Even though I hardly ever go out, I still shave with great diligence. When I grow a beard, I look so much like my father that someone once came to assassinate His Majesty Komnenik and mistook me for him. Jesus. So if he has a beard, people straight up, oh, so yeah, I guess that's why he can't go to school. His uncle did say, like, there's no chance of him going to school because people would recognize him from the Emperor. But that's a fucked up way to say, like, yeah, once they came and tried to kill my father, found me and tried to kill me instead. Fucked up doesn't even begin to describe it. I feel, yeah, no, it's really bad. It's really bad. He's just like, at this point, it's full on, like, it is domestic violence. It is abuse in a relationship. It is the abusive relationship of like, oh, well, you didn't try to stop me, so I guess that means you like it. So I'll just keep going further and further. Ooh, I can take my pills, actually. Let's see what this does. For a while, I was so ill I could not get out of bed at all. The illness dragged on for about 2 weeks, and Matvey, swaying with a slight fever himself, used wet towels to bring my temperature down. I deduced that it was some kind of seasonal flu. Since I never went out at all, Matvey was the only suspect. He recalled several clients he had met while working as an electrician and narrowed the culprit down to a little boy named Jason who had a runny nose and had given him candy. 5-year-old Jason became one of the greatest enemies of my life, more terrifying than the new prime minister of the Rovanic-Rainfield Union who came from the middle class. One strange thing is that when you have a high fever, you feel cold. In my blurred consciousness, all I remember is clinging to him desperately, afraid that every warm thing in the world would leave me. After I recovered, he teased me and said that when I was very sick, I cried and apologized to him. I found that absurd. Apparently the influenza virus can alter the human brain. Jesus. So he felt guilt for some of the fucked up shit that went on too. Heavy rain voice. Jason! No. It was just a child. Childs are always like gooey and disgusting, so no wonder. I love how they're like looking for the culprit who got them ill. Flus happen. It's gotta happen, my dude. If anything, you need to go outside more to strengthen up your immune system. For a while, I was deeply obsessed with smelling the air vents. For ordinary people, this hobby might be terrible, and a doctor would probably say it raises your risk of lung cancer. But please think about it seriously. In a room where not a single window can be opened, it's very hard to find any fresh smells. During that period, Matvey was always finding dust on my face. He was bewildered and asked me why. I had no intention of letting him take my hobby away.
考えたことはないか。鼻って実は小さな掃除機なんだ。
This guy's losing his fucking mind. That's the kind of thought you only have when you're incredibly drunk or incredibly mind-altered. Can't even open the window? Yeah. Can't even open the window, and he's definitely been locked up here a lot longer than we thought. I feel like more than a year at this point. To have gone from, like, staring out the window to smelling clothes and shoes to straight up just putting your face in an air vent and trying to sniff things. God damn. He's had a while to slowly lose his mind. Have you ever thought that a nose is actually a tiny vacuum cleaner? Hector, what's wrong with you? You smoked it all, didn't you?
Hi.
What? Yeah, no, that's the correct response, Matvey. They both suck air in. For once, I managed to make him laugh.
つまり、あなたの鼻は吸引力が強すぎて、埃を顔に吸い寄せたと言いたいんですか?
Are you trying to say your nose has such strong suction that it pulled dust onto your face? He tore off a kitchen towel and carefully wiped the dust from my face. It was rare for him to look at me with only one simple purpose in mind, so I thought, this is not bad either. Oh God. I don't like the way he put that either. It was rare for him to look at me with only one single purpose in mind. Oh, Uncle has lustful eyes too. Those is for cleaning, it's not for breathing. Hell yeah. To be fair, I thought that was going to go into a weird fetishy kind of direction too, so that was actually one of their cuter interactions. Out of boredom, I managed to guess the passcode to the safe's inner compartment. It was Chrysovia's founding day. Yeah, Uncle is really devout. Inside, a Kaliva recipe book had been set down with perfect neatness. I did not think it deserved a place like this. There was also an exquisite golden red wristband. The golden red wristband was woven from wool, delicate and beautiful with silver beads threaded through it. Its colors were terribly familiar. I stared at it for a long while until my thigh began to ache faintly. The colors of this wristband were almost exactly the same as the one worn by the man who tried to assassinate me. Uncle, why do you have one of those wristbands? Did he pay the assassin? Did he do that to make sure his nephew could not get away so that his nephew would be more reliant upon him? Because, yeah, when Hector mentioned, like, an assassin with a wristband, I thought that was, like, a sign of, like, the resistance kind of thing. Huh. What if he actually is the assassin? I doubt that. No, they said they found the assassin and killed him, but this uncle who's so nationalistic definitely isn't turning across the country, but maybe that was like a good memory for him for like, oh, that's when my nephew stopped being able to run away. That's when he started to rely on me totally. Oof. Okay, back to the Miraz jacket. Marvey was summoned by his sacred electrician work to a neighboring town, and he wouldn't be home for a whole day and night. All I had was the food he'd left for me in the fridge, and my already boring life grew even more boring. Till a strange yet familiar man's voice echoed through the living room.
Yo, Ivor!
Hey, man! Yo, the eyeball. I love eyeball. I'm sorry, the Miraz? The jacket is talking to me? Have I lost my mind that much? A chill ran through me. I hurriedly pulled out the gun I'd hidden under the TV stand, guessed its position by the sound, and ducked behind the couch. Oh, he's so tense. Talk to me. I don't mean any harm and I'm unarmed. But you have sleeves. I didn't answer him. What in the welcome to the NHK? Yeah. Okay. This is a level, thankfully, I've never been at. But I have heard that people will start to just like imagine random objects speaking to them when they get to a certain level of like disconnected from reality. My God. Forgot to introduce myself. I'm your Miraz overcoat. He could have pretended to be anything. Why an overcoat? I couldn't help wondering if this assassin had something wrong with his head. On the flight to the Confederation, you even balled me up and used me as a pillow. Heartless, aren't you? How did he know that? I couldn't help wondering if something was wrong with my own head. Still don't believe me? I was terrified when you said you were going to sell me. And you always hang me on the doorknob when you go to the bathroom. You're really my overcoat? Yeah. Why would I lie to you? That voice acting is going wild. The air in the Confederation is so fresh. You can't breathe. How do you know? He's thought a lot. He's thought a lot about the nose being a vacuum, so he's been on this. Common sense. And just like that, I became a man who occasionally held conversations with his own overcoat. Okay, yeah, that's a problem. It's either a speaker because it's the only thing left from the country, or he's just hallucinating. I think he's just hallucinating, but yeah, that's rough. You get so bored, you start talking to inanimate objects. Talking to, like, yourself in your head isn't terrible. It can sometimes happen. It's not super good, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people have, like, I have a running conversation going on in my head most of the times where it's just, like, a narration kind of thing. However, if you start hearing something talking back that isn't, like, you don't think is your own thoughts, that is where you seek help. That is where, like, especially if it's like, oh, I'm not having these thoughts, something else is speaking to me, and nobody else can hear the voice. Yeah, no, that's a problem. I do talk to myself a lot, but never have I had a thing speak back to me. Yeah, exactly. Again, I talk to myself a lot on purpose. Yeah, having something have its own voice and answer. Yeah, no, that's 100%. You need to go see a doctor. Poor Hector, at least get him some games to play. He'd like date everything. He would. Then he could have sex with the overcoat. Oh, God. The overcoat mentioning, like, you always hang me on the back of the door when you go to the bathroom. What did that mean? Does he want to be brought in? Is he like, hey, I want to peek? Find the memory trigger. Yeah, it would also be freaking terrifying as well. Curtains. I chose these curtains. Back then at the furniture store, he said he wanted me to choose everything for the room because I'd be looking at it all the time. I don't know if he realizes how viciously mean he can be. Yeah, that's a fucked up line. I was gonna say, the curtains are blue, but now the curtains are red. Which is worse. But yeah, him being like, yeah, you pick everything for the apartment, because you're gonna be staring at it every day, all the time, for the rest of your life. Like, Matvey does have his, like, yandere moments. Window. Very few people pass beneath our apartment building, and I did not know any of them. So I often think that if Matvey had an accident outside, I would have only two choices. Either swallow my pride and get to know the masses, or starve to death in this rental and rot. But the moment I think about how other people would see me, then I feel embarrassed. So from time to time, I want to take off all my clothes and stand in front of the window, first making myself famous as an exhibitionist. Okay, buddy, that's just boredom tied in with fetishes. Definitely starting to believe Matvey deserves. Hector's crazy. It's crazy to think how your brain does all these maneuvers to keep you sane, but makes you even more paranoid and scared. Yeah. It's when there's a physical being and you aren't sure if it's true or not. That's even worse, don't get me wrong. If you can see things as well as, like, hear things, like, you're completely disconnected from reality. But even then, if you hear something talking back to you and you're not like, oh, I'm imagining that, I'm putting on a voice for that, I'm choosing to do this. Yeah. And also, if you choose to do that too often, you create, like, your brain will start to do it automatically. It's a dangerous slope to go down if you start imagining things talking to you. Yeah, it could eventually slope into your brain just doing it automatically, and then you can't control it anymore. It's kind of like, what's that type of dreaming called? Where you, like, let yourself just run wild in your fantasies. You kind of know you're awake. If you do that too often, it starts to become the point where it happens automatically and then you can't actually properly sleep. Lucid dreaming, yeah. If you try to get yourself into the lucid dreaming state too often, you get to, like, sleep paralysis. You get to, like, start being tortured by your dreams. A lot of people who have worked on making themselves hit the lucid dreaming state continuously then get to the point where they can't sleep properly anymore. They can only ever lucid dream, and if they just are dead tired and exhausted, it can feel like demons are haunting them from the corners, or like time gets weird every time they go to sleep. It's Hector tulpa'd his overcoat. Yeah, essentially. That's, yeah, what you can create a tulpa by just continuously imagining something talking to you. Sensei, if Hector's passport was in the safe and he only found out the password from boredom, doesn't that mean his uncle didn't want him to escape the country? Exactly. That means his uncle wanted to make sure that passport was safe away from him. He didn't want him to have a chance, and even if somebody found him and needed his documents, he would have been screwed without his uncle providing them for him. That's something that people do to people like victims of trafficking as well. They take away their passports immediately. And so that way, even if they do run away, they don't have any identification and they can't get back to their home countries or prove that they came from a country to go to like a consulate and stuff. Yeah. Window. Hector doesn't want to remember. Multi-click. Oh my god, he's breaking. Sir? What did you do at the window? It was beautiful outside. Perhaps because the air circulation was good, I wanted to go out. But I did not want to take the stairs, so I wanted to jump out the window. To my surprise, I could not even open the window at all. I used all my strength, even sweating through my armpits, and still could not open it. In my opinion, nothing is more troublesome than sweating. The feeling of clothes sticking to my body like a layer of skin makes me feel like a snake that can never finish shedding. I brought over a screwdriver and tried to pry the window open, only to find the tip was sticky. I see. Matvey had glued shut the only large window in the house. At night, after Matvey came home, I confronted him.
Oh,
he's so glitchy. Oh my god. He's losing his self genuinely here. You glued the window shut? Why? For safety. The kitchen cabinets are locked too. Is that also for safety, or is that so he relies on you for food too?
どうして俺の舌も縛らないんだ。太すぎるのか?
Why don't you tie up my tongue too? Is it too thick?
僕はただあなたに安全でいてほしくて。
I only want you to be safe.
安全そうか。じゃあこの窓を端から端まで舐めろ。
Safe. I see. Then lick the whole window. He stared blankly at me, the whites of his eyes full of capillaries. He was probably a little tired. Still, that was no reason not to lick the window. I stepped forward and gave his face a somewhat perfunctory pat. He trembled like a startled bird, as if I'd struck him very hard. Why did he have to make me do this? I had no choice either.
舐めろ。
Lick it.
あなたはどうしてそんなに僕に窓を舐めさせることにこだわるんですか?
Why? Why are you so fixated on making me lick the window?
それはどういう意味だ。俺を恥ずかしめているんだろう。お前はなんて悪辣なんだ。俺はこんなに哀れなのに、まだ俺の要求を笑い物にするのか。
Just a minute before I translate that line. God, the VA is popping off. Seiyu kicking ass. He sounds like he's like starting to like growl a little bit. The breathing as he does it. What is that supposed to mean? You're humiliating me, aren't you? You're so cruel. In front of such a pitiful me. You still have to mock my request.
僕はそんな。
I didn't.
舐めろ。
I said lick it. I stared at him sincerely. Hesitantly, he stuck out his tongue and gently slid it over the cold glass. The trail of saliva on the window looked like the track of a slug. I breathed a sigh of relief. It was more or less as I had imagined. Jesus. So this connects to his, like, especially since he'd already gone through the whole thing of, like, I want to stand in front of the window naked. Oh my God, my dude. The exhibitionism is going hard. He wanted him to lick the window, not just because he's got a bit of a mouth obsession. He does. He's got an oral fixation, and I respect it, because I do too. But it was also the fact of, like, and at any moment, they could see you licking the window out there. Anyone could look through the window and see how embarrassing you look. But also the fact that this is all that he can do to his uncle at this point. He realizes his uncle is keeping him trapped in this house, making him completely reliant on him, not just for going out and embracing the world, but also when it comes to, like, just getting food, like locking up the cabinets. There's no need for that. You could argue that he locked the window specifically to stop him from jumping from it, because he was thinking about doing it, and he realizes that possibly his nephew has some issues. But yeah, locking everything else, no. He's making sure that he has to, like, rely on his uncle for anything. Takes one to know one, sensei. Guys, that's not that. Oral fixation, there's nothing wrong with having oral fixation. It just means I like lips, I like tongues, I like mouths. Nothing wrong with that. Find the memory trigger. Clock. Sometimes I invent strange little wagers for myself. For example, if I spend the whole day walking only on the left side of the room, Matvey will come home early. If I can drink 10 glasses of water while heating food in the microwave, Matvey won't put the news on for me during dinner. I cannot lose, because the people on both sides of the table are me. He's acting like he completely controls Matvey as well. It's like, I'm making the bet and making it wages towards what Matvey does, but I also control Matvey. Jesus. He said he'd be back at 6 in the evening, but the clock was already nearing 7. Oh, the punishment's going to be intense this time. In the theater inside my head, he'd already married a woman from the Confederation, bought a cheap used car, had 3 children, and got a dog. A Labrador. Okay, so yeah, the reliance has turned into full-on obsession as well. just when he's like an hour late home, he starts to imagine, oh, he's abandoned me. He's left me. He found a woman. He has children. He has dogs. I'm never going to be... God, the anxious attachment issues on top of... Oh, my God, these two are scary. Oh, God, we're so broken right now. Let's do it. I want to remember. He has one hobby that rivals his love for his homeland. Jigsaw puzzles. Architecture, animals, masterpieces by famous painters. He has no preferred subject matter. He's simply devoted to putting the puzzle together. He even has some of the larger puzzles framed and hanged them on the wall, admiring them whenever he passes by. Once, I truly could not stand him going on about the situation in the Rovanic-Renfield Union in front of me, so I made as if to throw away his puzzle. He rushed over and with an extremely professional maneuver, pinned me to the floor, pressing my wrists down hard. Ooh. No matter how I struggled, I could not move at all. In that moment, I realized that this man I had enjoyed for so long had never forgotten his military career. And all the crimes I'd committed against him were just his little acts of pretending to resist while inviting me in. Okay, that's... This is the fun thing about fiction, where I could just straight up say, that's fucking hot. Like, fucked up dynamic. These two should not be in this dynamic. But at the same time, the fact that he suddenly realized, like, oh, all these times I've overpowered him. All these times I've pushed him down. All these times he's been weak to my touch. It's actually just been him allowing me to do it. Like, suddenly realizing if he ever wanted to, he could pin me down. He could resist me. He could stop me. But he doesn't. Jesus. The way they word things as well is so good. When his paper's not beeping, he basically... Oh, pager. That makes more sense. When his pager's not beeping, he basically stays home to clean the house or goes out to buy daily necessities and food. My skill at housework is zero, which is only natural. On one of the rare occasions when he had time to rest, I invited him to watch television. He made himself a cup of tea and sat properly on the sofa. I put my feet on his lap, and he did not mind. He pays considerable attention to the situation in Crasovia, or rather, the Rovanic-Renfield Union. The Confederation does not often report on the Rovanic-Renfield Union. After one civilized election, the small country changed its system. The useless king stepped down. The economy got a little better, then a little worse. Compared with war and turmoil, it has little value. Unfortunately, when he sees our people doing well, he cannot be entirely happy. When he sees them doing poorly, he's even less capable of taking pleasure in it.
クレソビア人は自業自得です。彼らは王室こそが全ての元凶だと思い込んでいるんです。そんなことがあるはずないでしょ。
That is such a complicated feeling to have as well. It's like, I want them to suffer because of what they did to us. We're now like pushed out of that country and we can never go back even though it's our homeland. At the same time, can't take pleasure in their suffering either because that's his homeland and his people suffering. So there is no win in this. It's just suffering all the way down. Oof. The Crasovians brought this suffering on themselves. They thought the royal family was the culprit behind everything. How could that possibly be? He said that when he saw the news about inflation. Really? But they wanted this. It was their own choice.
どうしてそんな風に考えられるんですか。まだ何万ものクレソビア人が君主制を信じています。あの政治家たちは政権を取るためにいつも非現実的なことを約束して山ほどの後始末を残していくんです。
How can you think that? There are still thousands upon thousands of Kosovians who believe in the monarchy. Those politicians always promise unrealistic things to get into office, then leave mess behind.
あなたは違います。あなたは幼い頃から統治を学んできましたし、多くの人民の心もあなたに向いています。今のあなたの状況が苦しいことは分かっています。でも、実際に舞台へ順調に戻った前例はあるんです。
I don't think this guy's gonna be any better, my dude. You're not like that. You've been learning to govern since you were young, and many of the people still look to you. I know your current situation is difficult, but there truly are precedents for a successful return to the stage. He grew indignant. I found it funny. Maybe serving an exiled monarch was easier for him to stomach than serving a crippled madman.
情勢がそこまで緊迫しなくなったら、あなたの未来についてきちんと話し合いましょう。今はまだ態度を決めかねている人が大勢います。もしこの連合が役に立たないなら、
Hector putting it that way as well, saying that that's how he thinks of himself now as just a crippled madman is fucked up too. Once things are less tense, we can properly discuss your future. There are still many people who are undecided. If this union proves useless, we will have a stable faction of supporters. I looked behind his earlobe, and he was so startled that he spilled tea all over his legs. Jesus. Yeah, the uncle's still like, oh, I can use this kid. He can eventually become the president. I believe in this. Meanwhile, he's just like, I'm just going to lick behind his ear and tease him a little bit. Oh, God. This is an entire situation just to ensure that Hector is able to ascend to the throne in the future. It's not going to work. I can tell you that much. This was a relationship between him. Oh, okay. Fair enough, Chris. It's also very interesting to observe and analyze the power dynamics of man in control who usually do love to be dominated, plus them being the one in charge of another man. Personally, probably work either way for me, but I get you if you have like different feelings about that. Find the memory trigger. The fork? Uh-oh. Oh, what did we do with the fork? Matfei's the kind of person who lives with a strong sense of ritual. Even after we came to the Confederation, he still insisted on celebrating my birthday. I still remember my first birthday here. It was the busy season for electricians, but he insisted on taking the entire city off and worked in the kitchen from morning until night. Sausages, roast meat, cultured sour cream, cream puffs, anything you could think of was there. Unfortunately, I barely moved and had no appetite to speak of. Because I'm built tall, he seems to think I'm some kind of cow that has to keep eating. I suspect this is some form of discrimination. No. Sitting at the table, I stared at the dishes and remembered the military exercises once held to celebrate my birth. My whole body itched, and I had no intention of touching the knife and fork. He stood beside me in a snow-white apron, watching me with a kind of wary care in his eyes. It only killed my appetite further. I can't eat.
食べないとお体に障りますよ。ほら、どれもあなたのお好きなものです。
If you don't eat, it's terrible for your health. Look, these are all the things you like. Was Crasovia a beef, beer, potatoes kind of cuisine culture? It sounds quite Eastern European to me from like everything we've heard so far.
No.
Why, it doesn't matter. Sorry, that line got cut off. Seeing that I was still so stubborn, he sat down himself, cut up the meal with knife and fork and brought it to my mouth. I turned my head away, but he still succeeded. He stuffed a piece of sausage into my mouth. I spat it out viciously. He was patient, at least, and kept feeding me relentlessly. I just realized even the corners of the thing are starting to, like, disappear. Hector's really losing himself as this goes on. He was patient, at least, and kept feeding me relentlessly. He even brought out little son, which he had not called me in more than 10 years. Defeated by this despicable strategy, I stuffed half the table's worth of food into myself. There we go. He started calling him little son. Jesus. Come on, little son. Open up. There you go. Yeah. Oh, God. Here's the mommy part of the relationship. Yeah. And just not even letting him not eat. He doesn't even have body autonomy. Ugh. Okay, back to the fork. Hector doesn't want to remember. Click when read. Oh, how bad is this gonna be? Sorry, buddy.
お願いします。少しでいいから食べてください。ね、太陽ちゃん。
太陽ちゃん? Oh my God. Little son. Please, eat at least a little. All right? Little son? I had not wanted to eat for a long time. There was no real reason. I simply felt that eating was too exhausting. Chewing, swallowing, digesting. Every single thing was impossibly complicated. Besides, I did not even know whether I was hungry. Matvey was very anxious. I looked at him and spoke with perfect politeness.
お前が噛み砕いてから俺に吐き出してくれるなら食べる気になるかもしれない。
If you chew it up and spit it out for me, I might be willing.
なぜですか?
But why?
今日テレビで母鳥はそうやって餌をやるって見た。
I saw on TV today that mother birds do it that way.
それは理由になるんですか? 僕にはよくわかりません。
Is that a reason? I don't really understand.
やるのかやらねえのかどっちだよ。じゃあ俺がお前の目の前で死ぬのを見てろ。
Fucking hell, the VA work in this is so good. Are you going to fucking do it or not? Fine. Then watch me die right in front of you. I crawled towards the kitchen at a speed he could not stop and pressed a fruit knife against my wrist. He looked at me as if he couldn't make sense of me. Perhaps compared with my goal, the method seemed extreme. But if the only card in someone's hand is a trump card, then whatever game they're playing, they have no choice but to play it. I don't see what's so hard to understand about that. He obediently did as I said. To my surprise, food chewed by another person did not lose much of its flavor. I was dissatisfied and told him to chew properly and not to half-ass it. That's so fucked up. So I'm starting to see that the whole reason that he is being so gross and fucked up to his uncle is because it's the only autonomy that he has in his life. He used to be the prince that was able to, like, make rules and was able to control everything. But over time, he can't leave the house, he can't choose what to eat, he can't even choose to fucking kill himself or end his own life. So the only thing he does actually have power over is making his uncle do fucked up shit. And so he takes extreme pleasure in just being able to make his uncle do things that his uncle is super uncomfortable with. When deep down, like he pointed out, his uncle can totally overpower him and choose not to at any point. So his uncle is kind of into all of this as well. His uncle is his nation, exactly. His uncle's body is the only thing he has dominion over anymore. He doesn't even have dominion over his own body anymore. He can't choose not to eat. He can't leave the house. He can't move around. Oh, Jesus. The New Continent Rovenit Gazette. San Solano Town Church Children's Troupe performs the traditional play, The Giant Turnip. Young woman seeking lifelong partner must have regular employment in the Confederation. Beware of fundraising campaigns using the Komnenik royal family's name. Health column, secondhand sofas, mattresses, and the problem of bedbugs. Marriage, rentals, workplace injuries, immigration status, all attorney Marco. I'm surprised he didn't freak out and be like, no, my uncle's gonna leave me for the woman. He has a stable income. His uncle is probably the only subject he has at the moment, though very effed up, yeah. Mind you, depending on how his uncle treats him, he could also help him in a way. But he doesn't. He's enjoying it, so he feeds into it. Exactly. The babying him and stuff isn't exactly helping either. He could help him feel more autonomy and feel more connected to the world, but yeah, he's choosing to keep him as reliant on him as possible. This is a two-way street. Find the memory trigger. Is that the gun? Hector doesn't want to remember. Sorry, buddy. I think this is the final one, too, for the demo. Feels like this is the right length. The first time I kissed him, it was by force. I remember his hands trying to push me away without daring to use any real strength. After I released his lips, he asked me in confusion.
僕が探してきましょうか?
Should I find someone for you?
何を探すんだ? 恋人か?
Find what exactly? A lover? It was absurd. I didn't know a soul here.
連邦国では性労働は合法です。男性がお好きなら男性の方もいます。
Sex work is legal in the Confederation. If you like men, there are men too.
それをお前に教えてほしかったわけじゃねえよ。
That's not what I needed you to remind me of.
では、あなたは。
Then, you... He looked at me in bewilderment. How interesting. He thought I did such things just to get off. He thought anyone could replace him.
探さなくていい。目の前にいる。
Don't bother looking. There's one standing right in front of me.
どういう意味ですか?
What do you mean? He seemed angry.
性労働者は金のために人と寝る。マトベ、お前は何のために抵抗しないんだ？その過程でよく考えて、終わった後俺に報告書を提出してほしい。
This is so many levels of fucked up. He is straight up punishing him for everything that he's been through. Everything that his uncle's putting him through, knowing that he is like taking away his autonomy, knowing that he's the reason that he's suffering this much more. Even not being allowed to die, because at this point he would rather die either with his country or just be able to take his own life. At this point he's like, okay, I'm going to torture you as much as I can and I'm going to make it hurt every part. It isn't even like necessarily a sexual connection. It's more of like the connection to the only person that he knows who he both wants to torture and kind of needs like some connection to the world out of. Jesus, this is amazing. Sex workers sleep with people for money. Matvey, why is it that you don't resist? I want you to think carefully about that during the process, and then submit a report to me afterwards. Under his terrified gaze, I undid his buttons. Oh shit. I pinned him down on the bed, and as luck would have it, his hand found the gun I kept under his pillow. Ever since the assassination attempt that crippled me, I'd kept a revolver under my pillow. He knew that the gun stayed there until my condition deteriorated enough that he worried that I might use it on myself. Being molested by your own nephew must be a rather shameful thing. Trembling, he pointed the dark muzzle at me. Finger on the trigger, I pressed my forehead against it and kissed the barrel in rapture. His hand shook harder and harder, and the handgun clattered pathetically to the floor.
僕はあなたのおじなんです。
Your uncle.
僕はあなたのおじなのに。
But I'm your uncle. Your own uncle. What a way to end it. God, I am glad we left the door to the last. Jeez. Okay. Those memories have been erased. So, yeah, we have two very fucked up characters in this. He's crying. He is. He's crying, but at the same time, he knows that he needs him. So he has to put up with whatever he has to put up to. Also, I wonder if he can't truly believe that this is his nephew doing this to him right now. The man he's sacrificed his whole life to try and make, like, return to the throne someday. Wonder if taking the pill would make a difference. I don't actually know, because I don't... That was just like a turn on, turn off thing, so I don't know if not taking the pills the whole time helped. Because there wasn't an option to actually take the pills, there was just a little button that I clicked, so I have no idea. It's a good demo. It is. It kind of makes me terrified of what's going to come later, and that's what I love about it. It's one of those games where it's like, oh, this could go horrifically to the point where I'm not even sure I'd be able to stream the full thing. But it is one of those things where it's like, I want to see how it ends. I want to see if, like... my boy, I want to see if Hector, like, takes back his autonomy and finally manages to, like, push his uncle away and be like, no, I'm just gonna, like, leave this damn house and see if I can be free. Or are they going to become more toxic and codependent? How far is his uncle going to let it slip? Is there going to be a point where he pushes it too far that his uncle finally snaps and does use the gun, decides he doesn't want this anymore and will just move on with his life and forget about Kosovia? Is there going to be a point where, like, he does just, like, take his own life in any way he can? Oh, God. Well, that was just a demo. I can't imagine how messed up the full game will be. Yeah. But yeah, I love stories like this. I love them being so dark and messed up. And it's like, yeah, you push somebody to like a breaking point and terrifying things happen. This dude has been locked in this apartment for ages. He knows his uncle is the one locking him in here and keeping him helpless. This is the only way he can take any level of revenge that makes sense to him, because he still also needs his uncle in his mind, because he refuses to get onto the level of just like leaving and admitting who he is and hoping that they won't kill him or imprison him. So yeah, he is completely his uncle's prisoner, but he also wants to hurt his uncle. He also wants to have some connection with him. And so all of those emotions combine into this fucked up menagerie. Oh, God. Very curious how the story will continue. Yeah, me too. So freaking excited for the full game. It's so interesting. Will there be multiple endings? I hope there'll be multiple endings. I hope, like, because it does say, I don't know if you get actual choices in the full game, but it does say, like, things will change, like, depending on how you choose which memories you interact with first. So I don't know if that means like different endings depending on like which order you click things in, or if there will actually be choices later. But ooh, it's wild. Why are you terrified of what will come later? You know what will come later. Hector. Fair enough. That's the weird line that it straddles as well, where like sometimes it's like, this is kind of hot, and then they remind you what's going on, like fucking uncle breaking at that point and being like, but I'm your uncle. I'm your uncle. And it's like, oh, yeah. So many points, it's like, oh, that's hot. He's like pushed him down to the ground. He's making him like chew out the food and like spit it into his mouth. And then you have the uncle literally saying, but I'm your uncle. And it's like, yeah, this is more fucked up than anything. The medication or the situation also makes me think. But also the fact that like Hector takes pride in that. Hector takes pleasure in the fact that it's like, oh yeah, it must hurt you even more that it's your nephew. That's even more disgusting and disgraceful. Ugh! What if a lot of this didn't happen? Because he could also be drugged and fed information, something which some regimens do to prisons. Yeah, and we don't even know. He's able to see the news, but he doesn't like seeing the news. So maybe the news is telling him things that like disagree with his uncle as well. Who knows? The uncle, wife, electrician, brother, mother, kidnapper, victim. Kidnapper and victim is crazy enough as it is. I like how both are toxic to each other. Yeah, both are terrible people. Both are terrible people, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if like we get to a point where we're like, oh, yeah, maybe Hector just needed some time. I don't think we're ever given Hector's real name either. We're told that it's like very different from his original name. But yeah, we're never actually given Hector's birth name. We're just given his family name, but not his first name. And the fact that like Hector is very strange to him compared to like Matvey just turning into Mattia. Mattia? Was it Mattia or Matisse? Something like that. But yeah, his name is similar, whereas Hector is very dissimilar from what his old name was. But the game's VAs, and you were amazing too. Thank you. The game's VAs are incredible, especially the guy playing Hector. Hector does such a good job. Like that voice actor, that Seiyu, does such a good job of slipping between like, yeah, I'm just kind of bored of it all. I'm doing whatever. And then occasionally getting like really deep and aggressive with it. And then sometimes even just sounding like he's just ready to kill himself. He bounces between emotions so well while always somehow sounding threatening. And then, you know, somebody else comes into the room and that's the thing as well. People are coming into the room. There are people coming in to like check the gas and electricity. If he really wanted to escape, I mean, that's the thing. He really can't because he's been told he looks too much like the king. He won't be able to live here without his uncle. He won't be able to live safely and have his own life. But yeah, if he was really at a breaking point and didn't want to just go off the deep end, he could have asked for help. He could bang on the window and ask the woman out the window. There were options he could have taken, but yeah, like you said, he's too prideful to go crawling to the masses. It was such an interesting way to put that as well. For like, I'd have to put my life in their hands and then I'd be like subservient to them. At least in here, My uncle is my territory. I own my uncle. So it's the only way in which I am still a prince. I still have like command over things where he's even lost command over himself, essentially. Oh, they're both terrible and it's great. The writing's excellent. Some of the lines felt like getting stabbed in a good way. Yeah, some of the lines were like, oh yeah, this dude needs mental help. And like these two need like so much help. But at the same time, let's see how bad it gets. Sensei does stream the full game. You might want to have a Pupal sense already. Oh, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. The voice acting sounds like it's going to go intense as well. Thank you for introducing us to this game. I'm looking forward to playing the full version. Me too. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play it on stream, but this is definitely one where I'm like, I need to see how this ends, and I hope there are multiple endings. But to anyone who doesn't know, I'll say this again. I said this at the beginning. The link to the Steam page is in the description. You can also get it on itch.io. But please do wishlist the game if you were interested in this all. Then you'll get a notification when it properly releases. If you want to play it yourself, see how it goes. I'll see if I'm able to do it myself. But yeah, this is being made by Pop Elephant Studio. Can you see the credits? 1 second. Nope, that just kills the game. Damn it. 1 minute, then I'll go to my bedroom. Oh, man. Let me put on some dark music while we do the wrap-up talk. Also, they were expecting this stream to be about 45 to 60 minutes. So yeah, I got a little into this game. I got very into like going through this and like having fun exploring it. So I hope they don't mind me speaking so long. But this was a sponsored stream. Pop Elephant Studio did sponsor me to play this. So thank you so much. Please do wishlist the game if you're interested in it all. The seiyus are good. They've only just released this demo and they only just added the voice acting elements. The voice acting elements got updated like literally 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah, this is still all very fresh. It's just been announced due to the Steam Fest. So yeah. Sensei yapping on sponsored time again. Yeah, that's the problem. If I get sponsored by something where it's very much like, yeah, I'm doing this for a paycheck, it is very much a thing of like, I'll say what I have to say. Meanwhile, with something like this, every like couple of different interactions, it was just immediately like, oh, we have so much to say about this interaction. We have so much to say, like the spiraling mental health. And I'm so glad we managed to get that door as the last thing, because that door was the most intense part. The artwork is so good. The music is like, I wonder how it's going to go from here on. Because like the second track sounded a bit more, the first track was a bit like ominous, but like calm. The second track was a bit more energetic. So I wonder if like once you get to the third layer of like memories, how wild is the music going to get as it goes on as well? As Hector spirals further and further and we discover more about their relationship. Thank you for sharing this game. Thank you very much. And yeah, I had fun like trying to do some level of voice acting. I really wasn't at my best today. Like I couldn't really separate Hector and Matt Vey's voices too much either. I just kind of tried to make Matt Vey sound a bit more posh. But the voice actors that are actually doing the Japanese voice acting did such a good job. Like Sensei's voice acting, please use the angry voice while whispering to my puppy. Puppy kisses! How dare. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Sensei just really enjoyed the game. Yeah. So yeah. Things I have to talk about. You can follow Pop Elephant Studio on Twitter. I linked to their Twitter when I tweeted out about them. The game is going to be coming out in English, Japanese, and simplified Chinese for the text, and it will have the Japanese dub as we've been hearing throughout this game. And yeah, just please do. If you're interested in this at all, this is like, yeah, a very early version of this. So yeah, we got like one of the first glimpses of this game so far. So if you're interested, please do support the creator. Make sure that they know that we're interested in what's going on, because yeah, I definitely want to see how this goes down. This is one of those games that is not for everyone. It's one of those games where like, I feel like if it gets seen by the wrong crowd, it's going to get called out and like attacked. But it's also one of those ones where it's like, yeah, it's like a dark fantasy where it's like, I want to see how it goes. When is it coming out? It just says Q3 2026. So it's not got like a specific date yet, but not too long in the future. If it's like, if they manage to stick to that, that's within like, actually between now and September, because Q4 Q4 would be like October, November, December. So yeah, anywhere before October is what their release date that they're aiming for. But obviously for now, when they don't have like an actual date, it's just like a suggestion, so it may get a bit longer. Pop Elephant targeted the best possible VTuber for this, like a homing missile. I'm glad they did. I hadn't heard about this before they approached me. That's why I was telling everyone, like, I don't think you're going to guess who the sponsor is, but freaking awesome. Might not play it, but I would love to watch people play it. No, I feel that too. There are some things where you're like, I'm not sure if I have the mental strength to go through it, but when there are other people with me on the journey, it helps as well. Ah, it's so good. It's smart to have the Chinese translation in the barrel. The CN Fujos will eat this up. Maybe. The voice acting is so good. They got such good save for this. But with that said, we are going to wrap up for the day. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much again to Pop Elephant for sponsoring me. If you guys want to check it out yourself, as I said, link is in the description. Very easy to find. Wishlist it. And yeah, I wish you could leave reviews based on demos just to be like, yeah, no, this one is a wild ride. Depending on how it goes, this may be fucking incredible or terrifying. But that was fun. I'm going to head over. We're going to start the other thing in a little bit. So I'll raid you guys into that waiting room. But yeah, please do show them all the love. We'll be back in like a little bit. I'll take a little break. I'm going to like mentally reset because there was a lot, especially ending with the door in particular. That was so good. As always, burn bright, my pupils. I'm not going to do the full outro because I don't want like all the music and animated stuff on a sponsored stream. But yeah, I'm just going to do a basic outro. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Sweet dreams, everyone. Bye-bye.